Hi, boys and girls. My name is Kenya, and today we're going to be doing activity number 6 in your STEM box, sink or float. I have my good buddy here, Mrs. Vance, and she's going to help us out today. Everybody say hello, Mrs. Vance. Hi, boys and girls. We're going to have so much fun today. I can't wait to get started. Before we begin our experiment, let's talk about the science behind what makes an object sink or float. An object's density determines whether it will float or sink. Here's what that means. All objects are made of tiny particles that we can't see. The density of an object depends on how much space is in between the object's particles. Mrs. Vance, would you mind explaining how density works? No problem, Kenya. Okay, guys, let's pretend these cubes are particles. If you have the cubes all together, that's kind of how the particles would look in an object that's more dense, like this metal spoon. Now, if the particles were spaced far apart, that would be more like the particles in this plastic spoon, which is less dense. So objects with the most density have particles that are close together, and objects with the least density have particles that are spread far apart. Awesome. Thanks, Mrs. Vance. So now that we know how density works, we can go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do is gather all of our materials. Mrs. Vance is going to show you guys everything you need. Boys and girls, you're going to need your journal. You're going to need a Lego brick. You're going to need a wooden circle, a wooden square, a paper clip, a clothespin, a metal spoon, and a bucket of water. All right, guys, so go ahead and pause this video, and I want you to take a few moments to gather all of your items. And when you're ready, come on back and we'll get started with our experiment. Okay, welcome back, guys. So for the first part of our experiment, we're going to make some predictions. So here I have my journal, and what I did was I made a chart, and my chart is called Sink or Float. So I wrote down all of the items that we're going to test out. I have my Lego brick, my wood circle, my wood square, my paper clip, my clothespin, and my spoon. And in this column, I wrote sink. In this column, I wrote float. In this column, I put a question mark. So here's how we're going to do it. I'm going to give you an example. If I want to fill out my chart, I'm going to make a guess about which items I think are going to sink and float. So if I say my Lego brick, I think my Lego brick is going to sink. So if you think the Lego brick is going to sink, then you would put a check under sink. What about the wood circle? Let me see. I think that might float. So I'm going to put a check under float. You're going to go through your list and you're going to make your predictions. And when we're done, we're going to test out our items and see which ones sink and which ones float. And when we're done with that, we'll come back and fill out this last column. So go ahead and take a few minutes, make your chart, and come back when you're done. All right, guys, it's time for us to test these items out and see which ones sink and which ones float. Let's start with our Lego brick. Okay, now we're going to try our wooden circle. Next, we're going to try our wooden square. Our paper clip. Our clothespin. And our metal spoon. Oh boy. I wonder which items are the most dense. Can you tell? Whoa, that was amazing. I was surprised by some of those items. I thought some of them would sink and they didn't. I wonder how you guys did with your predictions. Why don't you go ahead and check, and Miss Vance will explain to you how you need to fill out the last column. All right, guys, so now it's time to check to see if our predictions were correct. For the Lego brick, I put that the Lego brick would sink, but it didn't sink. It floated in the water. So right here in this column with the question mark, I'm going to write float, F for float. And here we have the wood circle. I predicted that the wood circle would float, and it did. I was right. So I'm going to put an F right here in this column. And you're going to finish your chart, and you're going to look at your predictions, and then you're going to write over here by the question mark what really happened. Go ahead and fill it out. That experiment was chicken nuggets with awesome sauce. I had so much fun, and I hope you guys did too. I have one more little task for you guys. I want you to go on a scavenger hunt. I want you to find items all around your house, and I want you to make another chart. And like we did this time, I want you to predict which items you think will float and which items you think will sink. And then when you're done, I want you to fill out your chart and write what really happened. Make sure you ask your mom or dad or a family member if it's okay to use a certain item before you use it. I don't want you to throw a cell phone in the water because mommy might be really, really angry. All right, guys, I had a blast with you guys, and I am so happy that you let me help you and you let Miss Vance help you. Have fun. Bye.